Brian Windhorst of ESPN has said it's an over 50-50 shot of it happening. He said, quote, "I think Chris Paul is interested in being a Phoenix Sun, and that is not a minor statement. If we have an over 50-50 shot of seeing Chris Paul in a Phoenix Suns jersey, there are a lot of questions to answer. How does it happen? How does this fit with OKC? And how good are the Phoenix Suns next year?" Hello friends, welcome to Takes in Fuego. Today we look at Chris Paul and what his new jersey might look like next year. The Phoenix Suns have been talking with Chris Paul. They are both interested in getting a deal done and bringing in Chris Paul alongside Devin Booker and Deandre Ayton. After we saw Booker in that 8-0 bubble appearance, this might be the best basketball we've seen in Phoenix since Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. But how do the Thunder feel about Chris Paul going? The Thunder have a history of giving their star players advice on how and where they can be traded. This happened with both Paul George and Russell Westbrook, which launched them into their rebuild. Being they finished 5th in the Western Conference last year, their rebuild is going pretty bad. They could easily launch themselves into a full rebuild by getting off of Chris Paul, which would work in a number of ways. One, they should be far worse. Believe it or not, Chris Paul is still one of the best point guards in the league. And two, they could get off of Chris Paul's $85 million remaining and would hopefully be able to bring some pieces to build with back in the trade. Chris Paul has played for Suns head coach Monty Williams on the Pelicans and has great things to say about him. His basketball mind, "I used to get so excited before the games about the plays he was drawing up," Paul said before a game against the Suns last year. So the obvious question is, how does this happen? How do you trade the man with an $85 million contract? One part of this is that the Thunder would like to actually keep Paul for next season, but have given him the okay to talk it out with a trade destination. They know they're not real contenders as they are built right now, but they are not desperate to move off his contract either. Somehow Chris Paul himself would have to work out a deal with Phoenix. Paul has made it known that he doesn't want any team to give up too much for him and sacrifice their chances of winning. If they swap, say, Deandre Ayton for Chris Paul, Phoenix becomes a lot less of an attractive option. If he goes to Phoenix with only Devin Booker, is that a contending combo? But if he goes to Phoenix with Booker and Ayton, a rising star who just averaged 18 and 11 his second year in the league, that could be a winning combination. The optimal trade for Phoenix would involve Ricky Rubio, who the Suns would no longer need, and Kelly Oubre, who had a good season last year, but with Mikal Bridges and Cameron Payne stepping up in the bubble, will be missed less in Phoenix as well. A big hiccup with this trade is just that. The Thunder are not completely interested in taking back either player and would like to take back primarily players on expiring contracts next year, so they could start their rebuild even faster. If the Thunder don't want to take up those contracts, we could bring this into a three-way. I know how that goes. Say Phoenix sends Rubio to a team that wants a point guard, say like the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Clippers throw a couple of expiring contracts to OKC such as Lou Williams, Shamet, or others. That's a possible combination. Oubre is entering the final year of his contract and has been a good player. He could be flipped as well, either by Oklahoma City or in a three-way trade. Then Phoenix would likely throw a couple of first-round picks to Oklahoma City, who at this point is just hoarding them. They already have 3 first-round picks in a number of upcoming drafts, and could make that 4 here as well. This would mean in some upcoming drafts, the Thunder have their own pick, the Clippers pick, the Rockets pick, and potentially the Suns pick all in the same year. And with Phoenix and that roster, the team that just missed the playoffs on the play-in game last year, if you had Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Deandre Ayton, you actually have a team who has 3 potential all-stars. It will be hard to see them finishing above LeBron and the Lakers, Kawhi and the Clippers, and perhaps even the Golden State Warriors, but they should be right in the mix right after that tier. More food for thought, Kawhi reached out to Chris Paul immediately as soon as he knew he was interested in moving away from Oklahoma City and told him to come to Los Angeles. Despite the Thunder not wanting to take back long contracts, OKC has taken back a player before that they didn't really want in the name of a rebuild. They just did it with Chris Paul. And if you're going to reward them with draft capital, they're listening. For more videos including the Russell Westbrook trade, check out the video on the screen and be sure to subscribe for more NBA trade videos.